Everybody, welcome to the WeedClub Igloo. We're here with Daron from CannabisRadio.com. What's CannabisRadio.com?
Simply put, Cannabis Radio is a new online podcast network, soon to have a live stream, knock wood. It is a new network that has an amazing lineup of programming. A lot of people confuse it with just a single program. It's not. It is comprised of a lot of programs. When we launched, we had 8 separate shows. There are a total of 19 actually in pre-production right now. We're very excited about it. You can find it not only on the website, but you can find it at the typical places you'd find any other podcast. However, the beauty of it is we just found out from iTunes and iHeart that we're getting our own channel for Cannabis Radio. So it's going to set apart cannabis programming on those platforms and make it a bit more distinctive. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a crazy partnership, and a lot of people getting into the cannabis industry would love to create mainstream crossover wins like that. How did you do that?
Quite honestly, it's relationships. We've had a lot of relationships within this space for a very long time. And as we began ramping up for the release of Cannabis Radio, we started to reach out to some of these folks and started talking to them about what we were about ready to launch. And the excitement is just truly, it's contagious. That's probably the best word used to describe it. It's contagious. And it's almost like a fever because it spreads, which is a good thing. And so, the more people in influential places that started to hear about this, that we found were going to help the network at launch. It was surprising. They actually wanted to help us get this thing, publicized and off the ground, and that's been a beautiful thing thus far.
They must have figured out the power of the clicks and the demand for cannabis content.
Absolutely.
So in setting up a cannabis-themed radio station, did you run into any issues because it was cannabis, or it's such an ancillary service that it was just like setting up any business?
Well, it is an ancillary service. It doesn't touch the plant. Some of the people who have programming, they touch the plant in various ways. But for the most part, the people who are on the network, they're there to help educate. When you talk about a Dr. Mitch Earlywine who's on the network, he sits as the chair of the board for National Normal. He's the guy that wrote the book Understanding Marijuana for Oxford University. This is not a guy who's out there running a dispensary, but this is a guy that's doing legitimate research and helping to educate the general public on marijuana. And this is the kind of angle that we're trying to get to is span really the type of folks that are finding cannabis coming into their lives in various ways and trying to find that various level of interest that is going to allow them to come in and seek that level of education that interests them. And that's really that's our angle.
Who are some of your favorite shows on the network right now?
Well, I got to tell you, Kyle Cushman he's great. There's no wonder why this guy is one of the rock stars in the space. He truly is. He's got a passion for the plant, and you can hear it in the show. Vivian McPeak as well. Here's a gentleman who began the Hemp Fest in Seattle and his Protestival. And when you hear his show, you can hear this amazing knowledge and you hear his passion as well for the Protestival and for green living and for really helping people. So his show really is great as well. And then of course our very own Dr. Dina. She's awesome. She's obviously known as the real Nancy Botwin from Weeds. She is awesome. She's the cannabis consultant to the stars. Truly some great programs, and those are just but a few. But those are a few of my favorites.
Well, congratulations on your recent launch. And we're looking for big things from Cannabis Radio for entertainment, education, and destigmatization especially. You guys will be very, very well suited for that with your positioning.
Absolutely.
And thank you for doing the WeedClub Igloo. Where can people contact you if they're interested in more information or doing a show on Cannabis Radio or sponsoring a show?
Simply put, just drop an email to info@cannabisradio.com. Really simple.
Awesome. Okay, everybody. That's Daron from CannabisRadio.com. Check it out.
Go Weed Club.
Thank you. Take care.